Jews. Ready, go. No, wait. Do Dan Bilzerian talking about Hitler. Ready, go.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody's all up in arms about this whole conflict. It was the Jews that started the whole thing from the very beginning. For thousands of years, they've been causing problems. You know it, I know it. It's not even a good
Hey,
impersonation,
Dan.
but
Dan, quick question for you. Do you think it was really 6 million?
it's a highly inflated number. It's probably 6,000.
You know, so I was gonna say 250, but
Let me just read you his X account. Like, the first thing on there is like, the Jews killed Jesus and they should all burn in hell.
the Jews did kill Jesus. You can't argue with that bit of history.
How did the Jews kill Jesus?
There was something about a cross, a crucifixion, or something like that.
I know, but it was the Romans that were in charge. The Jews were just a bunch of people complaining.
The Jews were just the ones who told them to do it.
It wasn't it was Pontius Pilate that ultimately fucking,
Well, Pontius Pilate, he said he didn't want to. He said, "Hey, what about what if we?"
I know, but that's him. That's him just placating, being political, saying
they were like, "No, let Barabbas free. Crucify that piece of shit Jesus. We'd rather have the murderer Pontius Pilate. I mean, the murderer Barabbas, Pontius Pilate. The murderer Pontius
that guy
Pilate.
really Barabbas. He had a good day, and then he got home. He's like, "Oh, my life still sucks."
Pontius Pilate famously washed his hands. Okay, so he washed his hands of the whole thing.
He's technically like one of the most famous Romans of all time.
Pontius Pilate, aside from maybe
Caesar, Augustus. I mean, there's a lot of famous Romans. Cicero, Seneca.
Old Seneca.
But Pontius Pilate. Do you think he ever came out with a book?
He should have.
He never had a
bank.
Press agent or anything.
He'd have made Bernie Sanders book money.
Imagine if they find a book called like The Real Jesus by Pontius Pilate.
Jesus as I knew him.
My struggle.
Like documentation of
my struggle.
It is Mein Kampf.
A newly discovered book by Pontius Pilate in the catacombs in East Jerusalem, titled "My Struggle."
Mein Kampf.
His history just repeats itself over and over and over and over and over. But it's like it repeats itself, but in like a new way every time. But it's like technically the same repetition, but it's just like different casting characters.
I wonder what Pontius Pilate's opinions were on the
Jews. He ruled them. Like they were his benefactors essentially. I mean, doesn't the whole Bible start out with a census?
Them, like, whiny. He probably was like, these whiny bitches.
Could you imagine, like, even I think it's in the book of Luke or something, it's like, in the days of Herod the Great, a census was conducted. Everyone had to come and pay the tax. It was like, you're sitting there, you're, farming or something, and then you get a notification like, hey, you got to go pay your taxes. You're like, fuck.
Dude, I get pissed off when I have to drive to work. Imagine taking like a multi-month trip to go pay your taxes. Why wasn't there some sort of like peasant uprising? If I had to travel like I don't know how many days just to go pay taxes, I'd lose my shit.
Also, like, what was going to happen? Like, I mean, anyways, the whole thing is kind of just suspicious.
Oh, like there was a conspiracy?
No, meaning like it never really happened. They just needed to add some filler material to the story.
Oh. So, okay, I gotcha. So Joseph and Mary never like went to Bethlehem or whatever.
I mean, it's kind of, if you look at it like in terms of like structure, I mean, Just wondering how much of the story is just like filler material, because like it's still technically somebody
Yeah,
like
because who like if we as a country, like if you and I and everybody else we knew had to travel to Washington D.C. for a census, I think there might be riots
well, there's something called
just for
tax.
a census.
There's this thing called annually. It's called taxpayer appreciation day or something like that, and like the IRS opens up its
Oh Jesus!
offices and they get surrounded by black people, and then the black people are like, "Why ain't I in compliance?" And they're like, "Well, you haven't filed for 6 years, sir. You're supposed to file every year. You didn't know that?" No, hell no, I didn't know that. Every fucking year
Every
I
year, what are
gotta deal
you
with
talking
this
about?
shit.
You mean I was supposed to be doing that in 2020, 2021, 2022, and they just started counting as high as they can. Are you shitting me?
You say I owe you $65,000? How the
Over the
fuck
course
am
of the
I
past,
gonna pay you 65?
yes, yes, ma'am, $65,000 over the past 2 decades.
Compliance? The fuck is compliance? What the fuck does compliance mean?
Compliance? I haven't even heard that. I've never heard that. Well, I don't even know what that means.
I think like technically, a lot of people do not file, which is just insane. It's like
Right.
your chances of like not having repercussions in filing are, but the problem is it's a lot of fucking work
Well,
and money and
you're
time.
more likely. Well, if you're not filing, you're more likely to be leaving money on the table. Like if you're like your average like 40
average refund,
40-hour a week employee.
Yeah.
Now, if you own your own business or you're self-employed, then that's a different story. But if you're working for somebody else, your money is already coming out of your paycheck before it even hits your bank account, and you're probably just leaving money on the table if you're not filing, because they make sure they're taking more than they need to, so that you have to fill out a document every year and sign it under penalty of perjury.
I think yeah, man, I mean it's amazing like that Trump is going to be here for 4 years, and every day now is like the Trump show where like everybody stops working,
Yeah.
stops doing anything, and they're just like, oh my god, what's happening? What's he going to do? What's he saying?
He's got to go faster than they can have a problem with it, right? Like if he just keeps up the pace, like they can't even keep up.
I know, and that it puts them into suspended animation. They can't actually take care of themselves anymore because they're just like constantly living on edge, or they've given up completely, which would be the best thing, and they can just like return to their normal activities and stop even thinking about it because they're like, I'm blocking it by not thinking about it.
Right. Yeah, it's like, how are you going to keep up with all this? Like, you can't, unless you're like deliberately keeping up with Trump news every single day. Like, you're going to miss most of it.
It is a lot of information. It's more information now than ever before.
It's practically work to keep up with it.
It is, and that's the thing is no one has that time. I'm not working, but like that's how I have the time. Just looking at how much content Elon Musk puts out, you're like, this motherfucker doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, this guy, he's got to have like somebody he employs full time to tweet for him or something. I don't understand how he's doing this.
It's fucking him.
But apparently it came out like he was supposed to be like the top gamer in what was that game? I forget. But then it came out that maybe he like had hired somebody to be playing for him or something like that. Because he live streamed that one time and he like messed up on like some very simple, like basic things that made it very obvious that maybe he wasn't an expert player or something like that. That was like months ago now. I forget even what the name of the game is, but he live streamed himself playing that game, and he like made these very rookie mistakes that you wouldn't make if you knew what you were doing. And people were like, "Oh shit!" he probably has been paying somebody to like build up his account or something. Which wouldn't surprise me, because I'm like, how are you running like this many companies and you're the best player at this fucking whatever this game is? I forget what it's called.
He says by end of next year,
Warcraft.
He says by end of next year he's going to launch 4 starships to Mars.
End of next year, he's launching ships to Mars.
Yeah, but not with humans, with robots.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, oh shit.
It's like, oh, you mean you're going to shoot a rocket at Mars? Cool. How much do I have to pay in taxes to fund your fucking space adventurism? Huh? That's the problem that is the one thing I don't like about it. It's like, can't you be honest that we're already on a spaceship and like we're already very far out into outer space? There's nowhere to even go. And we've already got it so good, you're just wasting your fucking money.
We're on the spaceship called Planet Earth, hurtling through the cosmos.
It's a huge spaceship.
Around the sun. We're already on a huge spaceship.
And it's alive. And it has water. And it's got fucking a sun that we rotate around for warmth. Like, why are you wasting our money, Elon? Like, can we maybe like...
flat disc. We're already on a UFO. We're on a flat disc UFO, and the sky is fake.
I really think we have to become multiplanetary to protect human consciousness. And therefore, the billionaires need more of a tax break while you, the average people, keep getting fucked. Like Warren Buffett says, you're the patsy. Time to go to Mars.
You know what it is? He's a billionaire, and he's like, he just wants, I think what he wants to do is he wants to shoot his loads into Mars now. Like, if you were a billionaire and you were like, you know, putting babies and all these chicks, and then you were like thinking to yourself, like, what if I could put my babies on Mars?
No. See, that's what I'm saying. It's a grift. It's just a grift. The whole thing is a fucking grift. It's all just hypnosis communication.
Yeah, because he makes up a lot of stuff to make headlines, pretty much.
Yeah, he's addicted to it.
Self-drive.
He's a neurotic.
Full self-driving for forever.
He's a straight up neurotic. Like, he spends all his time creating memes. He's like, oh, you know, he's like, because he goes under the name Adrian Dittman, and he's,
huh?
Yeah,
I never heard that.
Adrian Dittman is his pen name on X.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's his burner account. He might be live right now. He's always talking about something so interesting. Let's see if he's live. And he just went on Joe Rogan as well.
Again?
Yeah, just like today, actually.
I just watched the Woody Harrelson one the other day with the wife. They were very obviously super baked. I was a little bit disappointed, actually. I was like, oh my god, these guys are so fucked up right now. I thought Woody Harrelson was going to be a little bit more interesting. Still like him, but I was a little disappointed about the episode. You ever watch True Detective?
No, not really.
You never watched True Detective? Dude, that show was so good. The first 2 seasons were good. The next 2 after that weren't so great, but the first 2 seasons were amazing. How have you not seen True Detective, dude? Well, put it on your watch list then. I think it came out in like 2012 or 2013, something like that. Let me see. True Detective. 2014.
This is what Dan Bilzerian's X account says. F Israel. 4 days ago, Christians believe Jesus is their Lord and Savior. Jews believe Jesus is burning in a vat of human shit and that his mother, the Virgin Mary, was a whore. Why is this never brought up, and why was the word Judeo Christian invented? When you can criticize every category of people on this app except the ones who are massively overrepresented in all positions of power, not only is it not free speech, it's propaganda.
Well, so the thing that annoys me is like, even if you leave out the whole like, they run the banks, they run the media, the blah blah blah. Like, it still annoys me that my parents are very like conservative Christian, and my parents-in-law are also very like conservative Christian, and they're so like for the Jews, for Israel, they can't do anything wrong, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you do realize they hate you, right? Because they'll do like the thing where they make fun of gays for Palestine or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, they would murder you if you were gay over there. I'm like, you also do realize that they don't like you, and they don't like Christians in Israel. They walk by these people and they spit at them, and if they walk by a church, they spit at it, and they throw rocks at these people and shit like that. They're not your friends. They don't like you either. Like, if you wanna make fun of the gays for Palestine people, like, you don't really have a leg to stand on either, because they also hate you for being Christian. Jesus.
Wait, why don't we care what Dan Bilzerian? He's like such a douche canoe.
I know.
Didn't he for I don't know, he his business tanked or whatever, Ignite or some shit like that.
It did?
And his mansion was rented. Yeah, dude, his mansion was super rented, and he even admitted that all his shit was there's entire documentaries on
his cars and his house and shit.
Yeah, he's not an actual baller. He's just a fake baller.
I bet he's circumcised though.
Dan Bilzerian.
I'm looking. It says Dan Bilzerian liquidation.
Dan's a dick.
Mandarin, did you Google it? Google if Dan Bilzerian is circumcised. Google Dan Bilzerian.
Is it? Well, I have his foreskin in my hand right now. His foreskin.
Oh, that's Dan Bilzerian.
Yeah, I have Dan Bilzerian's foreskin in my hand right now.
Jesus. You lucky lady. You dog. Yeah, I never understood. I don't even know how Dan Bilzerian is supposed to have gotten so rich. Was he like a poker player or something like that?
He's like an heir, $100 million trust fund baby.
So he inherited it?
It says Bilzerian had a family trust fund that he claimed was once worth almost $100 million. While he had claimed big winnings in poker, the Hendon Mob site that tracks tournament winning shows he only earned $36,000.
Dude, if I had $100 million, I would not be going to the casino. That doesn't make any sense. But so the story is he inherited it then. That's why he's so rich. Huh. I didn't know that. I thought he was supposed to have won it from poker or something.
Yeah, he filed bankruptcy.
Are you shitting me?
Mm-hmm. Google it. I just Googled it. I'm reading all about his bankruptcy
How do you
liquidation.
go from having $100 million to filing for
I don't think he filed personal Chapter 7 or 13. He filed corporate bankruptcy for Ignite.
Oh, God. It's like one of his companies or something.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's different. I wouldn't turn my nose up at $100 million. First thing I would do, Go get the circumcision. I was always had my eyes on.
Yeah, this USAID thing, you know, and stripping or doing all the forensic accounting, it's like, man, they really need to do forensic accounting on the fucking Ukrainian funds because I got kicked out of a big room the other day. I was like, you know how many oligarchs have probably been created and how much fucking money laundering and theft there is? They're like, you're fucking lying.
They'll never figure it out. That money's gone. Half of whatever was sent over there is gone.
But if it's in the Caymans, why don't we just fucking send the Marines to the Caymans and just take it all back?
Yeah. That's what we like to do. Freeze other countries' bank accounts. Eventually, nobody's going to trust the dollar anymore. They realize the U.S. can just take their money whenever they want. I don't know why they did that. That was stupid. So I googled Dan Bilzerian circumcised. I still don't know if he's circumcised or not, but I see this video on YouTube about him injecting stem cells into his wiener. What does shooting stem cells into your wiener do? Okay, check out the YouTube link I put in the chat.
What was that? I just brushed my teeth. What is the YouTube video? Let's see.
I shot once? Not with steroids, but I shot stem cells.
Oh, stem cells.
Yeah.
Because I hear from the porn stars that they got something that you like prick into your dick, and then you take it and you like massage it into your dick, and then you have like the craziest 2-hour erection. And the thing that they told me was like, when you watch European porn, if you ever see a guy fucking a chick like the craziest, like just looks like he could fuck her for the rest of his life and he's never gonna come, they're like, that's because they all shoot their fucking dicks up.
So I got a funny story. I have never done that, but I had a friend that did it on a friend's private plane. So my buddy did it on this guy's private plane. He was fucking this chick, and apparently there's something that you have to take after that to like make your dick go down.
Okay, I heard about that too, yeah.
And so on my plane, he was used to flying on my plane. This is the only private plane he had ever been on. And on my plane, you could access the baggage from the cabin.
Right.
Okay? But on this other one, it was like a smaller plane, and you couldn't access the baggage. So he couldn't get into his bag to get the thing to shoot his dick to go down. So they actually had to fucking land the plane so that he could go in the back to get the shit to shoot his dick. So he had to explain to the guy whose plane he was using why they had to fucking ground the plane in mid-flight. But he said it, when it worked, it worked great. I mean, it was...
There's a lot of male porn stars too who are injecting like silicone or some shit into their dick to just make it like permanently bigger. Which I don't really know much about it, but that's some wild shit.
Yeah, man. I don't know too much about like the dick extension stuff or whatever, other than a good friend of mine who's a plastic surgeon, and he said his buddy, who was, I think he was a billionaire, was worth like fucking hundreds of millions or something, like really rich guy, and he said the guy had like a fucking 9-inch dick or something, big fucking dick, and like fucking wide dick too, all this shit, and he was going to get his dick enlarged even more and died on the operating table.
Wow.
So, you hear shit like that, and then like, I don't know.
That's scary.
There's other people that like, I'm sure get the fucking surgery and their dicks never works. To me, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like such an important part of my life that I was just like never really wanted to risk it.
Right. Hey, hope you enjoy.
Wow, my life is complete.
Oh, the Dan Bilzerian video?
Yeah.
Talking about shooting stuff into your dick or whatever.
He's basically a Clubhouse user, He's an anti-Semite. He's stupid. And he loves to talk. He's a fucking Clubhouse user.
That's all of us. He just described all of us. Beautiful.
Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy.